We live our lives making choices. What to eat, who to love, what path to follow. But pause for a second. Are these truly our choices? Or are we being guided by invisible strings? Biology, society, subconscious desires. Welcome to Mysterious World, the channel where we dive deep into the most fascinating mysteries of human existence. Today, we're asking a question that has haunted philosophers, scientists, and spiritual seekers for centuries. Do we have free will? Or is it all just an illusion? Buckle up. This journey will take us through neuroscience labs, ancient philosophies, courtroom dilemmas, and even artificial intelligence. Let's begin. What is free will? Free will is the belief that we, as conscious beings, have the power to make choices that are not entirely determined by prior causes. It's the idea that we are not just puppets of biology or fate, but agents of our own destiny. Think about it. Every day you make countless choices. What to wear, what to say, how to respond to someone. You probably feel like you're in control. But philosophers argue, feeling free doesn't necessarily mean we are free. So the debate begins, and it begins with the brain. Neuroscience challenges free will. In the 1980s, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet conducted a groundbreaking experiment that shook the foundation of free will. Participants were asked to flex their wrists whenever they felt like it. At the same time, their brain activity was being recorded. Here's what Libet found. The brain's motor cortex began activating about 300 milliseconds before the person consciously decided to move. This suggests that the brain decides before we become aware of making a decision. Later studies by researchers like Soon and Haynes even pushed this window further, showing brain activity predicting choices up to 7 seconds before people became consciously aware. That's right. Your brain may already know what you're going to choose seconds before you do. If true, this raises a chilling possibility. Is the conscious mind just a narrator, telling stories after the fact, pretending it made the decision? Let's now shift from the brain to the universe itself. Determinism is the philosophical view that every event, including human cognition, decision, and action, is causally determined by an unbroken chain of prior occurrences. If the universe is deterministic, then everything happening right now is a result of what came before. Your current thoughts, caused by your past experiences, your likes and dislikes, influenced by your upbringing and genetics, your decisions, just the final result of complex equations running inside your brain. In a deterministic universe, free will is like a movie playing out, and we are simply watching, unable to change the ending. But surely, there must be something unpredictable in us, something spontaneous. That brings us to quantum physics. Is quantum physics the savior of free will? Some thinkers argue that quantum mechanics, with its inherent randomness, could open a back door for free will. At the quantum level, particles behave unpredictably. Unlike classical physics, which is rigid and deterministic, quantum physics allows for multiple outcomes. But here's the problem. Randomness freedom. If your decisions are random, they aren't yours, they're just random. That's not free will, that's a dice roll. So quantum indeterminacy might loosen the chains of determinism, but it doesn't guarantee that you are in charge. Every human being is shaped by two powerful forces, genetics and environment. Your genes determine aspects of your temperament, intelligence, and even risk-taking behavior. Your environment, family, culture, education, trauma, shapes your beliefs, habits, and values. Let's say a person grows up in a violent neighborhood with poor education and abusive parents. Another grows up in a safe, nurturing environment. Are their choices equally free, or are they deeply shaped by conditions they didn't choose? Psychologists suggest that much of our behavior is conditioned, automatic responses learned over time. In that case, how much of what we choose is truly a choice? Let's pause and consider the real-world implications. In courtrooms, people are punished or forgiven based on the assumption of free will. If someone murders another person, we say, they chose to do it. But what if that person had a brain tumor affecting impulse control? What if their upbringing left them psychologically damaged? If we accept that free will is limited or non-existent, can we still blame people for their actions? Do we need to completely rethink morality and justice? Some argue we should focus less on punishment and more on rehabilitation and prevention, understanding that behavior is complex and shaped by forces outside a person's control. Compatibilism, a middle path. Philosophers like Daniel Dennett and David Hume support a view called compatibilism, the idea that free will and determinism can both be true. According to compatibilism, free will isn't about being uncaused. It's about being able to act according to your own motives and desires, without coercion. If you are not being forced and your actions flow from your internal reasoning, then you are exercising free will, even if those internal processes have causes. This version of free will doesn't require magic or randomness. It's practical and realistic. You may not have chosen your genes or your past, but you can still reflect, learn, and change. That capacity to grow and make reasoned choices may be where true freedom lies. As artificial intelligence becomes more advanced, we are forced to ask, what makes human decision-making unique? AI systems analyze data, predict outcomes, and make decisions. In many ways, they mirror how our brains function, with inputs, patterns, and outputs. So, are we just biological algorithms? Is free will simply a more complex form of AI decision-making? Or is there something else, something ineffable, about human consciousness that separates us from machines? These are questions we'll be asking for decades to come. Many spiritual traditions offer a different view. In Christianity, free will is the gift that allows humans to choose between good and evil. In Hinduism, karma suggests a cycle of cause and effect, but also emphasizes intention and choice. Buddhism speaks of mindfulness, the practice of becoming aware of our impulses so we can transcend them. Spirituality often holds that we are more than our biology, that we have a soul, a higher self, or pure awareness. From this lens, free will may not mean choosing your breakfast, but choosing how you relate to your thoughts, your ego, and your suffering. So what's the answer? Are we truly free? Maybe not in the absolute sense. Maybe we are shaped by biology, culture, and circumstances more than we realize. But perhaps freedom doesn't mean total control. Perhaps it means the ability to pause, to reflect, and to choose our path, even within limits. That small space, that moment of awareness, might be the most powerful thing we have. What do you think? Is free will real? Or is it just a beautiful illusion? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video sparked your curiosity, give it a like and subscribe to Mysterious World. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss our next deep dive into the unknown. Thanks for watching.